Declutter your mind, develop into you. Trust in His word, that's the best you can do. Learn every day, hear what I say. Wonder what I'm gonna do. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, all the last words of a fool. Ladies, today's video is 6 ways to stop making excuses. So the definition of excuse, according to Merriam-Webster, is an expression of regret for failure to do something. An expression of regret for failure to do something. We all have different reasons for making excuses, such as self-denial, lack of motivation, and mostly fear. I can relate to the fear part of that. One of the main excuses that people love to use is, I don't have time. And I've said before on this channel, we all have time. We all have the same amount of time every single day. It's not about time. It's about priorities. It's only ever about priorities. If I prioritize exercising, I'm going to make time to exercise. If I prioritize TV time, I'm going to make time for TV. It's all about priorities. The reason why it is important to stop making excuses is because the more you do it, you start to see them as valid reasons. Every day you are getting older and certain opportunities may never come again. You will reach the end of your life full of regret, thinking about all of the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Okay, so here are 6 ways to stop making excuses. Number 1, accept responsibility for your own mistakes. Relationships that you may have messed up, failures. Maybe I could have studied for that test. You know, we could say, oh, well, you know, I was tired or this and that. Maybe you just didn't study enough, you know, like, because we have to be honest with ourselves. There are people, we're all in different circumstances and situations, right? And then sometimes, I know we shouldn't compare, but the reality is, we can look at it and say, okay, this person, this was their circumstance and they were able to pass a test. So if they can pass a test, surely I can. Now, I'm not saying compare to put yourself down. I'm just saying look at someone, look at the facts, yeah? Not things that you're making up in your head, but look at the facts of the situation. Okay, this person had this against them, that against them, and then they still passed the test. And me, I had all of this and I didn't. So is it that I really couldn't have passed the test? Or is it that I just didn't study hard enough? I didn't really make time properly. I waited until the last minute to cram it in. You know, we all know the excuses that we make. We can honestly, if we have accountability, we can sincerely look at the missed opportunities and say, do you know what? I said that I had this against me and that against me, or I was too busy, or whatever it may be. But if I'm honest, I could have done this differently, or I should have done that. I'm not saying to just live in regret, but it's about honesty. Honesty is a stepping stone out of excuses. Number 2, set small goals. When you set small goals and you achieve them, it starts to build a bone of consistency. 3, stop comparing. Well, if I had her looks, if I had her money. So what I just said there, it probably sounds like, Charlie, you're contradicting yourself. Notice how I was saying it. I wasn't saying it to say, oh, well, this person had that, so they could do it. I'm saying look at it and turn it into a positive. Well, if this person can achieve that, let me try. Let me study them. Instead of just saying, oh, you know, she's so fit and healthy. I don't look like that. Instead of wasting time saying that, why don't you say, do you know what, yeah? How can you tell me your exercise regime? What are you drinking? Oh, you drink water, yeah? Do you know what? I have heard like time and time again that you should drink, you know, 2 liters or more a day. But, you know, I'll be honest, I just haven't been doing it because you know what? I don't like the taste of water. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, turn it around. Start with the honesty. Stop comparing. If you see someone in a situation and you think, oh, I wish I had that, get to know the person, study them. Today I was listening to a podcast and he was saying, when you see people doing things successfully, whether it's their relationship or their business, study them, learn about how they operate. Yeah, because that's where you can gain lots of value and gems, and then you can apply it to your life. And then you realize, you know what, I was making excuses, but all I had to do was ABC. Number 4, change your mindset. Address why you have this worldview. What lies or limiting beliefs do you have? Focus on your strengths. So this is something that I have had to work on. Now, there may be a valid reason. So I have to clarify. You may have a valid reason as to why you think a certain way. So what I would see as a valid reason is there are certain things that happen in childhood, right, that set us back, that certain experiences that help cause us to have low self-esteem, the way how we think about ourselves, being pessimistic and so on. Those are valid reasons. Where it becomes an excuse is where you come into new information. So I believe that we're living in the information age. We have Google, YouTube, that is the #1 search engine on Google, owned by Google, right? We have people that we can access. We can travel like never before. We have tangible books. We have libraries. We have the internet. Yeah, we have so much information around us. A valid reason is maybe how you got your start, things that happened to you that you had no control over. But once you come into information, now you can actually decide. You can actually decide, well, how do I want to go about this? What choice am I going to make? Now that I've been exposed to new information, what decisions and choices am I going to make to change the trajectory of my life? And then if you start to say, well, you know, then you can start to border on excuses. You know, if you don't know any better, you can't do any better. If you know better, you can now do better. It's like for me, you know, I'm a Seventh-day Adventist, right? And in our church, we've got the Bible. Well, I don't want to say in our church, the Bible's for everybody, but you know what I mean? We have the Holy Bible. We have a plethora of books by Sister Ellen G. White, books about family, finance, community, how to speak even, you know, I need to read that as I'm doing a YouTube channel, actually, you know, the ones. But, you know, like there's so many topics. And then outside of that, you've got the internet, you've got your wider community, the whole world. So we're exposed to so much information, like we can't, there's just, for me, it's like the reason for excuses are so limited. You know, I can understand somebody who is, you know, our ancestors, and you know, I don't even want to say they could have made the excuse. Our ancestor who is shackled in chains has a valid reason as to why they cannot get up. Like if you're chained down into a ship, there's a valid reason as to why you can't move from that situation. Some of us, it's a mental slavery thing. And people have fought for our freedom. We have freedom now. I know racism, oh gosh, I sound like I'm going on a tangent here. Racism is real and it's valid. Don't get it twisted. But sometimes we're blaming white people for this and white people for that, when really and truly, it's just that you don't actually have the motivation to change your situation. So it's easier to just find someone to blame. As soon as sin came into the world, there was blame, there was excuses. Oh, the woman, oh, the man. No, you made a choice. Yeah. So when you come into new information, you now have a choice. We have so many opportunities. You have the internet. You can do courses for free. You can change your situation. I hope I'm making sense here. Number 5, use your resources. Okay, well, yeah, this all bleeds in. Use your resources. We live in an information age. Use the internet, YouTube, read books. You see, I'm going ahead of my own notes here. Get to know new people. You can expand your knowledge, which helps you to learn more about the world and yourself, new interests, you know. Now, that same podcast that I was listening to, in terms of his ethics, there's certain things that Puff Daddy's done that I've seen, you know, in documentaries and so on. How he may have dealt with people who were underneath him, I don't agree with. You know, sometimes you have to use disclaimers when you use public figures. But that aside, the man was basically saying that Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, whatever, Puff Daddy was willing to work for people for free. He's now like a millionaire, billionaire, and he was willing to even work for people for free just because he recognized, you know what, if I do this now, if I'm studying the person, then I can get to where I'm going. He could have said, you know what, oh, I don't want to work for free. Oh, actually, no, I don't want to work for free. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And those would have been a valid reason. A valid reason is that you don't want to work for free. But when it becomes an excuse, when, you know, you look back in your life and you say, do you know what? I could have had that opportunity, but I wasn't willing. Maybe I was just making an excuse because I didn't really want to put myself out there like that, to really have to work and learn. You see, the thing is, there are seasons for everything. He was working for free then, and because of that hard work, now he can reap the rewards financially and in other ways, because he was willing to do that for a season. I'm not saying now to work for free forever, but you know, there is a time for volunteering. But you might just say, oh no, I'm too good for that. No, I ain't got the time for that. No, I'm not interested. Like, whatever opportunity comes your way, just think, how can I use this? How can I capitalize on this? Because this opportunity may never come again. How can I get my foot in the door and learn and grow? The mindset, the resources, it needs to change. Now, the last point is forgive. Forgiveness sets you free. I was having this conversation recently as well. I'm not going to lie. When it comes to forgiveness, that's not my strongest area. I'll be honest, it's not been my strongest area. But I think for the last couple of years, I've been faced with it more, and I've come to realize, do you know what? Sometimes you're thinking about things that have happened, and the person that you're thinking about that's wronged you, they're sleeping, they're snoring, they're dribbling. They are not thinking about you. Everybody's like, the seasons are changing, life is moving on, everybody's moving on except for you. There are certain things that we just have to let go, because guess what? The same way that I can say people have hurt my feelings, I've hurt other people's feelings. I've messed up as well. You know what I mean? We're humans. That's what humans do best. Yeah, we're selfish and we hurt each other. And then when we're really rotten, we do even worse stuff. Yeah, that's why I believe that we need Jesus to really bring out the best in us. So if you recognize that there's some forgiveness that needs to be had, work on it. The other day I had a conversation with such a good friend. We spoke about, you know, where we went wrong, what we could have done better. And it was one of the most fruitful conversations that I've ever had. Two people taking accountability, recognizing, do you know what? Oh, wow, we've wasted time here when we could have just had a conversation ages ago. But we live and we learn. So I'm telling you, forgive. It sets you free, because sometimes you want to live in that place, well, this person did this and da-da-da, and it can become an excuse, you know. And for me, I'm just like, look, I've got a husband and I've got children, so I recognize whatever I don't really work on, whatever I don't work on and grow in, it's just going to affect them. So that's why I just want to push, like, oh, this is, how can I apply this information? How can I change my situation? How can I change my mindset so that I can be better for my girls? I'm telling you, check your reasons and check your excuses. There's a difference. We kind of went all around the world with this one today, but I think that there's something in there that you can, you know. I tell you, like, I did not have anywhere in my notes to start talking about slavery, but you never know where these videos will go, you know. So the verse of encouragement today is Exodus chapter 4, verse 10 to 14. And this is Moses talking to God here. And Moses said unto the Lord, O my Lord, I am not eloquent, neither heretofore, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant, but I am slow of speech and of a slow tongue. And the Lord said unto him, Who hath made man's mouth, or who maketh the dumb, or deaf, or the seeing, or the blind? Have not I the Lord? Now therefore go, and I will be with thy mouth, and teach thee what thou shalt say. And he said, O my Lord, send, I pray thee, by the hand of him whom thou wilt send. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Moses. And he said, Is not Aaron the Levite thy brother? I know that he can speak well. And also, behold, he cometh forth to meet thee. And when he seeth thee, he will be glad in his heart. So the reason why I chose that verse of encouragement, or those verses, and if you want to do more reading into that, I would suggest reading Exodus 4, is because God had a job for Moses to do. And Moses, as you can see, he was like, oh, I'm slow of speech, I'm slow of tongue. And Jesus and God is like, oh, don't worry, I've got that covered. See Aaron? Yeah. And this is what I love about God. This is why, you know, the Bible tells us, not I, but Christ. I have plans for you. I'm here. I'm the burden bearer. Cast your anxieties and cares on me. Because especially when we have God in our corner, it limits our opportunity to kind of use excuses, because we've got like someone in our corner who is saying, don't worry, I can put things in place for you. I can sort this out. I'm right here. Like, I'm your bank. I'm here. Hello, did you need something? I'm right here. I'm full of resources. I've got spiritual gifts for you. I've got strength for you. I've got love for you. I've got practical solutions for your problems. I'm right here. Do you want to? Hey. Yeah. So I'm telling you, so just consider what I've said today. Remember those reasons: responsibility, accept responsibility, the goals, stop comparing, change your mindset, use your resources, and forgive. And get to know God. That's the main thing. Get to know God and actually get to know him and get to know what he says for us. Because I've said to my husband before, do you know what, babe? Sometimes I feel like I've read the Bible, and certain times I think, oh, but does it give, like, is this practical? Can I apply this? And then when you really look into things, you realize, do you know what? Sometimes we're just skimming through. We're just reading. We're just reading and we're not really taking things in, and we're not really applying certain things to the situation now that it can be applied to. I guess that's why I understand a lot of people say, oh, the Bible is outdated and this and that. But if they really look at it, Old Testament and New Testament, they would recognize, hey, there are actually a lot of practical solutions there for everyday issues. Maybe I've just been skimming it. Maybe it's just because I'm reading the King James and you've seen thee and thou and it throws you off. But take time. Let's all take time to ingest the good information that we have around us more, to tap into those people more. Yeah. Let's stop wasting time, stop using excuses, and let's change our life. Yeah. Let's be the change, see the change, and all of that we want to see. All right then, ladies, have a lovely day. Bye.